ટેકનોલોજીમાં ચાલુ બંધ જલ્દી થાય. એટલે if you have to look at this area, it is that area. And if you have to look at the ecology of that area, then one of the unique features is, sorry, can somebody change it to slideshow is on right now, so 10 seconds it will change. Can somebody change it? So what we are seeing here is waterways, and these waterways are very important in Kerala. In fact, water has been the reason for making the building the way they are, and material is another reason. Because of heavy rain, the jungles and the trees are many, so their main material is timber. And we didn't know this. I mean, we knew what it is, but we didn't know the architectural implications of it. So, આ બધા બિલ્ડિંગ ક્યાંથી આવે છે? તો એની એક કહ્યું નથી, એની એક વાત જોઈએ તો એને નથી ખબર. Madhavi, no comments. આજે રાતના 12 વાગ્યા સુધી આપણે બધા અહીંયા છીએ. મને કિશોરભાઈ કીધું છે કે તમે તમારી ચિંતા ન કરતા, એમ બધા પેરેન્ટ્સને બધાને બહાર રહેશે. On the click, on mouse click, એ કાઢી નાખો એની ઉપર માઉસ. હા, on the mouse click. બરાબર. Now it should be okay.
F5 back. નીચે
હવે હું
અહીંયા માઇનસની બાજુમાંથી ક્લિક કરો. હા,
તો ટ્રીઝ એટલે કેવા ટ્રીઝ? અને આ વોટરવેઝની વાત થઈ, પછીની વાત છે એના ઓરિજિન્સ ક્યાં છે. અત્યારે તમે જે બધા મકાનો જોશો એની કમ્પેરિઝનમાં એ બધા મકાનોની શરૂઆત આવા ઘાસના છાજથી થયેલી. Festivities in our country are very important, and here Here, elephant is a very important animal of the place because of jungles and elephant being one of the main character to deforest the jungles and make homes. In the lower right, people are keeping rhythm where drums are being played on people next to the elephants. And that awareness of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, that is what's going on there. As far as architecture is concerned, as far as spatiality is concerned, these places are very different. These places are very different from the ones we see in desert area, semi-desert area like Gujarat. See the amount of wood that is used. See the wall. See the rafters. See the rafters. A veranda, and there are two chairs here which tell us about the easiness of life that people must be experiencing. The very good example of a veranda on a two-story house, upper story, and those panels that you see are movable panels. Wherever the sun is coming, you can lift it and put it. So you can change the overhang of the house. I'm quite excited by that kind of concept. And then this here, on the right hand side, lower part, that's the place where one could sleep and slow breeze comes on top. In Kerala, you must have seen that people wear very little. People without upper shirt and just a lungi are common. So you can imagine if one is sleeping here, what kind of breeze you would experience. House type. In this is to be seen, there are two roofs. ના ભાઈ આમાં મજા નથી આવતી. હું ત્યાં જ બેસીશ.
સર હું કરું તમે નેક્સ્ટ
આવી?
ના એ નહીં જોયું
અચ્છા, ઓકે. Go back to the
10 સેકન્ડ વાળું પાછું થઈ ગયું છે.
Go back, 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 back. Yeah. So this is a house with two roofs. In the inner roof, the top two lines are stone. So when a lightning strikes, the outer roof burns. But you have enough time to take out things from that inner roof where the valuables are kept. It's called ara. And even grains are stored here and here. And valuables, there are many cupboards here in this direction. Yeah. So this will not burn easily. This part will not burn easily. First, this part will burn. But otherwise, there is a stone way up to here. Next, please. This is a very important, we have studied about Vastu Shastra and 9 square and 16 square buildings.
Mana? Back. Ajay.
This is a very famous building.
Next.
Next, please. It's called Suryakagadi Mana. Namudris are very rich Brahmins, and they are landed Brahmins who, this is another type, which is also
Next second.
So,
square in a square, the exercise that we saw. And this is a lock system. Just try and think about what can be done with it. This is a complete system with, actually there are two or three keys in order to open this lock. We are not realizing, except one we don't see any, but there are three keys. And as you can see here, should I stop using this?
સર એમાંથી પોઇન્ટર એક યુઝ કરી શકો છો. હા.
You see the key itself is getting locked here. It gets locked here. So you don't know where the key is. Of course, when you are from Kerala, you would know. But these are the beautiful ways in which designs are done next. This is a bathing pool of a private Namudri house. So at different times, the men of the house, the women of the house, the children of the house will go and have a wonderful bath in the middle of nature. Next, please. And that is here. You can see on your right, this is the bathing pool, which is here. Another example.
Back.
The bathing pool is right here. Next, please. And this is another type, which is a long house, Agraharam type, in a place called Tirunellai. And there, these are the Brahmins from Tamil Nadu. And what you see here is kitchen and a well. And right from the kitchen, you take out the water, so that that's the purest water. It doesn't go anywhere else. You could take it out here, which is the wash area, and you could take it out from here, which is the kitchen area. Next, please. And that kind of settlement looks like this. A wide gap and colonnade, and this lady is preparing for making rangoli. Next, please. And they would make a rangoli like that. This is in the center of the house. This is at the beginning of the house, where this is the main area of sitting and conducting life. This is a passage, and that's a beautiful small courtyard which gives light to the place. And when it is raining, you can sit here and see what's happening. Similar one, but it has changed now in its way it is used. This space is used. And these are done by girls or women of the house. Next, please. Veranda is a very important place. Veranda is a very, very important place. And this is a very nice window. It is closed right now. When it opens, this is what happens. This elevation is of closed window. This is when it is opened. Yeah? Next please. And that window is like this. This idea of let the breeze pass over your body is very important, especially in humid places. So this is a window of Agrahar, and it's you just lift it and close it, and that's it. Or you in the afternoon you could sleep here. You could keep an eye on the street. Next, please. This book that we have prepared, we have tried to exhaust all the possibilities of structural systems. Next, please. This is a house. If I ask you where is the original house, you will be surprised. The original house is here. That's the house. Rest of the house is, this is a Mapila house, Mapila Muslim house. In there the idea is to, the man goes to the woman's house when they get married. So all these are houses of the daughters. All these are the houses of different daughters. So many daughters. Yeah. And you can see how they have tackled the roof. But there are systems, and buildings respond to social systems. Next, please. If you were to look at the number of types of houses on your right, I cannot describe all of them, but you can see that there are many. And on your left, if you see what the life, with what people lead their life, what are the things with which they enjoy or conduct their life. Next, please. Actually, I'm sorry, but in this particular presentation, everything was written. And somehow when I opened it, I lost everything, and therefore I have to speak a little more. But see the idea of inner pavilion. And formal gathering would happen here. Exchange for marriage would happen here. And then it would happen in the temple. Next, please. So there is a temple on the top, and on the bottom there is a whole type of housing of Brahmins, and they use this water for bathing as well as for use. Next, please. This is a model that we had made, 1:20 scale, about 18 feet model, and it was made rafter by rafter, and everything was made that was there. And this building we are going to see, its plans we are going to see. Next, please. So, next please. So, this is the village where I went, and this is the temple that I went. This is the temple that I documented. And this is one of the ceremonies for curing mad people. These are mad people dancing on the music that is being offered, and shlokas that are being chanted. Next, please. That temple is like this. The main temple is here. Namaskar Mandap or salutation pavilion is here. Well is here. Another temple is here. Another temple is here. 4 gates in 4 directions, main gate on the eastern side, and a circumambulation with these things on the way which you pray upon, directional gods. And this is the bathing area which you use before going into the temple. Next, please. And here what you are seeing is a place for hanging lamps. And on a special day, all the lamps throughout the building on the outside would be lit. Next, please. So that's the precinct. And these are the kind of activities. This path is this path. Is this path. Okay. Next, please. The meanings of all of these you can see in the book. It is all called out and you can experience this place. But next, please. We always do a rafter diagram and understand the building as well as possible in one drawing. So in this drawing, there is 1 half plan and 2 quarter plans of 2 buildings. Again, these are handmade drawings. Next, please. The carpenters have such good idea of structure that they usually don't fail. And because because all these are typological things, type to be repeated, they know the building by heart. Next, please. This is inside the courtyard of the building, of the temple. So that's the temple. That's the temple. And then we have the master plan. Next, please. This is the Namaskar Mandap. And then the temple itself. These are copper shingles. And this is a 2-story temple with beautiful woodwork here. Each one of them has God or icon of a god. Next, please. And that's the section of the building. See how the Nirmalyam or the water that is with which the god is, deity is washed, comes out here. Next, please. So again, talking about computer, use of computer, you can do a lot. I'm not throwing the computer away. I'm saying pencil is as important or more important than computer in order to produce ideas. Next, please. If I had to show somebody this is what I want, I will have to sketch something. I don't know computer enough, but I know what I want. So I should be able to sketch and show somebody, draw this view in this manner, cut it here and show me. Next, please. From underneath the salutation pavilion, major section, next please. All the drawings are done in such a way that the photograph will help you in understanding the reality. This is different. But these are the paraphernalia things of a temple, like we saw of the house. And this is a section through one temple, through and through, where entry is on this side, sitting area is here, and small katha, etc. would happen here. Then there is the Namaskar Mandap here. Then there is the first deity, and there is a support area here. Next, please. Now, come to think of it, how is this joint made? I'm not going to say anything, just think about what is going on there. Look at it for about 30 seconds, 40 seconds, and see what all is happening. What is passing through what, and what is being tied, and how is the roof coming together? Next, please. These are the deities' figures that I was talking to you about. This is the lower part of the temple. This is the upper part of the temple. And it's a very stupid mistake of painting them. Looks nice, but when you paint the wood, there is a huge problem you are creating for wood. Wood should always be treated with certain transparent polish. One easiest one is oil. And if it is a bitter oil, it's the best. Next, please. This is a school. And this is a school where 1, 2, and 3 Vedas are being taught. And you come down here, and this is a platform where a meditation happens, and this is water. So this is that part. Okay. You come down, and that's where you meditate, and that's where you take your daily bath. Next, please. And that's what's happening. It is called Brahmaswam Madam. Madam means building. This is a Kuthambalam, a theatre. And believe me, it's a very large structure, and it's a very ambitious structure. And it has a fantastic structural system. Next, please. Which you can see now. This roof is called spider web construction. From outside you get beautiful light. This is a theatre side. Next, please. A door system. I'm reminding you of how things are connected. A door system and how that door system is put together. Next, please. A masjid, 5-story masjid. Another masjid and a sectional drawing of it. How different parts of the building find their own meaning. Next, please. Same roof applied to a church. Next, please. And this is my simplest example of form. Solid outside, container, space, contained, hollow, concave, This is convex, this is concave, therefore I am calling it a space, and this is a form. You can make your own definition of things. It's best that you make your own definition and check it with somebody. Next, please. And then there is guesswork. It is true that lots of karigars of houses are actually in boat making business also. And you can see how the boat is made, and you can see how the roofs are made. So sometimes you have this two crafts connecting. Next, please.
This is the last.
That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any questions?
Questions?
Yes. Mic is it necessary there? Pass it at the back. That's good.
Hello. Yes.
Sir, these traditional methods, they are efficient enough, but where does one draw a line of keep repeating these traditional methods and innovating or thinking about something new to build or to proceed in these areas?
The book or my thoughts are not saying repeat. What I'm saying is try and understand what's happening. And in a place which demands certain materials, understand the principles of it while designing new modern facilities or buildings. So no use repeating. I know why schools of architecture vary. Your question is that by looking at good examples of traditional buildings, we get scared a little bit. Whether to preserve it, conserve it, repair it, keep it in good shape, and use it is one. Second is copy it, build as it is built, its plan should be used, its materials should be used. What should we do? No, we are in today. We are existing in the present times. We are trying to say that slowly learn how to use buildings, use materials the way they are used in traditional buildings. See how life is supported in a certain way in traditional buildings. Their plan, their structural system is second part, their material system is third part, and their joinery and systems of putting together is fourth part. Are we well versed enough with our new materials to make new buildings that have taken lessons? You may not take lessons, but if there is a strong parallel existing, it would be futile not to understand. Yeah? So that's what we are trying to say. Today, if I were to make a building in Kerala, two things are for sure. One, I'll be using wood. For sure. Two, I would be using a roof which will be sloping. Because I want to take care of the rain. If I have a flat concrete roof, you find out what is the velocity of a drop of rain that comes down and hits a concrete surface. And what is the impact of it? Impact meaning kg per square centimeter. Velocity means the speed with which the drop is coming. Just find out. Whereas in a sloping roof, what would happen? That's the kind of dialogue we will have to address. If I were making a building for a very traditional family, will I try to be Corbusier? Or will I try to ask them, what do you want? Do you like this house or that house? What from this existing house do you like? Etc., etc. So the long and short, the answer is, there is no intention here of conveying to you that you should copy these buildings. The idea is to learn the principles, learn the materials, and learn the systems, and learn how the buildings have coped with climate. Any other question? Yeah.
Sir,
Yeah.
Sir, in the process of understanding such architecture, what is the importance of this rigorous measure draw exercise which you have done for all of it? Why it is so critical to measure and draw it as it is? And
this is another juncture where technology is going to ask us to fail. When you measure something, you realize, I asked a question about a courtyard and the distance. The scale was wrong. And the fellow had no idea what the distance was. But if he had drawn this courtyard, he would have known that from here to there is about 9 meters. Yeah, it's about 9 meters. From there to there, above the terrace, above the staircase, is about 20 meters, 22 meters. We have to be able to guess. Because building ideas and your first sketch doesn't fall from sky. It comes from here. And your habit. If we had made a kitchen that was this long, we would lose a job. For sure. But if we had made a kitchen in that much, the person who is going to work in the kitchen is going to be happy. So dimensions are playing with us. Dimensions are not just for the heck of it. If I'm answering your question, so you measure, draw, and really become well versed with dimensions. There is a dimension here. This is 5 inches. Yeah. This is 12 or 13 centimeters. I count the number of steps and I would be able to say what is the height where the chairs are placed. So translating, observing and translating material or dimensions is an architect's job. What is happening now? You know, there are now programs where you take a picture and all the dimensions will come into the picture. If I station myself in one place and took 1, 2, 3 and 4, I can make a 3D model with dimensions. The drudgery of holding the tape and जरा इधर सीधा पकड़ना देखता नहीं है is gone. But we lost it. We lost the whole idea of how to feel the measurement. By doing this, I'm not feeling all the measurements. I'm given. So the programs are there now. But I would insist, I would be a traditional person in saying measure drawings must be done. So that is the two sides of the coin. And slowly nobody wants. I mean, we are lazy. I mean, human being by nature is a lazy animal. That's why they are giving us everything. No? ये भी चाहिए ना वो भी चाहिए ना ये 3-4 चीजें तो मैं अभी निकाल सकता हूँ जो कि मुझे बोला गया है कि ये करने से आपको तकलीफ कम होगी. So we will have to think for ourselves. As architects, what are the few things that we must do in spite of the fact that tools and gadgets are available to do those things? If you call me traditional, gawar, gaudewala, whatever you want to call it, that thinking has a root. A child was by the parents given a book all the time, and the child was allowed to change the pages. One day the parents showed the child a book on the laptop, and the child started doing this. What happened? Child got conditioned, and he thought that book also will open like this, but it didn't open. So there are many pros and cons. All these things are for you to think about, for us to think about, how far the technology. Yeah, I like the sentence. I'll speak it again. How far the technology.
So, sir, when you write this book, so I read a few introduction part on that. So as you mentioned that your interest in the means measure drawings and photography was back in 1960s and 70s. So while when you are in academics part or in a means field, so you were trying to get knowledge about these all things that part. But later on, after 20 to 25 years, when you publish the book in 2018. So I like to ask you that when you decide to, means you have done measure drawing all this work and you have information about it, but when you start to publish the book or when you get the idea to publish the book, did you go back to there and do some extra, means currently in academics and other part we all go to few places we measure draw, but we don't get that strike that where it will be go in future. So if you can help us in that part, that in future what can strike us and what.
It's a very good question. It's a very good question. And we haven't shown the notes that we make on the drawing, but our drawings are full of notes and we try to say what is this. Dimensions are always written on the drawings. To conversation with the owners. What is this? Why is this? When did you do it? Who did it? Did you repair it? Who repaired it? All these questions are always asked. And your other question is where it was hidden actually. Why in the hell did you take this much time? That's what he's asking. I would have used another word for hell, but the reason is every book we have done takes at least 10 to 12 years. Because you get the drawings done, you put the drawings aside, you start taking the notes, and you start writing, introduction, chapter 1, chapter 2, you reshuffle it, you write it again, you start putting illustrations. That whole process of making a book is very taxing and very, it requires a lot of thinking, and like my wife Madhavi would be helping me saying, this is badly written, throw it away in the garbage. Yeah, I worked on it for a month, so maybe you need to work for 2 months. That's it. And so it takes time. What I mean to say is, it takes time. But this perseverance, if you want to write a book, is necessary. If you want to make it a little shorter, the time, then in that case, you can make notes, exhaustive notes on the site itself. And this idea of going to the site again is wonderful. I have done 5 to 6 visits to Kerala. No. Then it was all material was there, recording and everything was there. Then the books came, other books, what other people have written on Kerala. That we started reading. Because no research is original, believe me. There is no research in the world that is original. Where somebody stopped, you start again. Where are my specs? Where are my specs? This was a search. It was just search. But when Sir says, Sir, did you come with the specs at all? I didn't see you with the specs. Oh, they were in my pocket. So did you come here with the specs? Yeah, I said, yeah, I saw them in your hand. So did you sit in the same chair all the time? Now research begins. He is doing research now. One by one, 10 questions became research. Then he says, okay sir, you were going back and forth on your chair? Yes. Where was did you have your specs in your hand all the time? Think about it. Did you put it down somewhere? Think about it. Research. First one was search. There is a detail and says, I go there then. How? It's here. So there is a difference between plain search and research. And in the process I may ask, did you see my specs? Did you see my specs? These are references. I'm taking a reference from you. And you will say, yes sir, I saw you having it in your hand when you were standing near the door. Doesn't help me. But it proves that I had my specs. Then another person I'll ask a question about sitting here and specs. That's another reference. That will prove that I had my specs here when I started the talk, nothing else. So one by one, you are proving things. At least I won't go to my hotel to look for the specs because it is proved now that I had brought the specs here. So research has this way of looking at things.
And sir, one more question I like to ask that generally, on behalf of all the students, that generally when we start the design process, as our faculty told, it's a long process. So as you explain all these house and give information, so when we start a design on a paper and when it comes to reality, means it on a at a last stage. So in between, so many different layers are going to be added, like structure, material, the function inside which will going to be performed. So on that, we somehow feel that at last the original design idea get diluted. So what would you like to suggest us that that in this whole process, how we can manage to means to carry forward that essence throughout the design process?
If I knew this, I would have been a good architect. Yeah, but this is very important. Keep a series of sketches and drawings that you do with numbers and date and some comments. It's very important. Supposing you today is third, 3/11, third, no sir? 3/11/22. I would write down 3/11/22, and this is the sketch I have really liked. So I would analyze that sketch on the same page or another page. Write 3/11 again. And I would write IMP, or I like this sketch very much. This sketch has a potential. Work on this sketch for 2 days. Tell myself. And for next 2 days, I would have really, the word is massaged the sketch very well. Massage masu thai. What is the masseuse doing? He's trying to bring the oil out. First he puts the oil and then he brings the oil out. That's the process of massage. So in a drawing, you don't know what you have done. You want to bring it out. You want to bring out the observations that have actually gone into making that sketch. And suddenly you find out that there is no window in the corner. All the windows are happening in the center of the wall. Why? Suddenly you find out that you haven't thought about what is outside. Suddenly you find out that actually there is a river. So you haven't drawn the river along with your sketch. Your sketch gets modified. Things like this, it goes on for a while and you keep improving it, and maybe on the way to designing a building, there are 4 or 5 moments when you say, wow, I got something. Well, hold it. And those 4 or 5 are your moments to be explored. One really great architect said, I shuddered to draw first line on the paper. No motomars. The other one says, in a square, I'm confused, or I'm afraid of putting a window. Now I want to put a window. Is it arbitrary? Does it have to do with the function? Does it have to do with the climate? Does it have to do with the material? Does it have to do with something outside? Does it have to do with climate, rain? What's the reason? Indirectly you have asked, what is the direction? What are the direction of this square? That is south, that's north. પેલા બિલ્ડિંગમાં નોર્થમાંથી બહુ લાઈટ જાય છે અને ત્યાં ઊભા રહીએ ત્યારે આ જગ્યા સરસ દેખાય છે. બે વસ્તુ થઈ. So there are a series of things.
Hello, sir. So, who gave the spark to begin with this creative idea, and why Kerala?
Who?
Who gave the spark to begin with this creative idea, and why only Kerala?
Actually, I think I have written in the book, my first experience at traditional architecture was in Nepal. And that was in 1969. 1969 to 2000, 1990 or 95, I don't remember exactly, is the gap. And when I saw the work of Nepal, architecture of Nepal, I was convinced all these guys who are teaching me are dodos, because they are not teaching me right things. What does Corbusier have to do with my life? Why somebody is not talking about that building also? Compare कर सकते हैं ना फिर? वो तो किया ही नहीं हमने. So, see many kinds of architectures. That's very important. You have done some models here in second year that are of some key buildings. Why do we do of key buildings? Because there is a lesson in a key building. So, likewise, I lost the question. Likewise, I'm sorry, when you're moving around, it's not just Kerala. I went across in Ahmedabad from my part of the city, which is on the western side. I crossed the city and I found buildings in old city of Ahmedabad. I like them too. But I traveled outside. I went to Maharashtra, I went to say 5-6 states, and I came to this place. And suddenly I saw that if similar kind of building was made by the architect 4 or 5 times the language of the building, then I would definitely say that this architect has liked something in what he is doing. Similarly, in Kerala, I started seeing and I started reading and I said, oh my God, this is traditional to the extent of somebody has written about this building already. Then I started looking at it more closely. I lived there. And I said, and this was never given as a reference to me. From 1967 to 1975, which is when I studied architecture. Of course, we had a 6-year course and I did some hera-fairy. So I took more time. But in that many years, nobody talked about the regionalism of India. This is not the only example. The tribals of Panchmahal are also building. Do you think we have something that we can learn from there? My assumption is there is something to learn there. I go with that assumption. And that has kind of informed my way of looking at building, whether it's a great temple or a great hospital or whatever. Okay.
Okay. Hello.
We will. Thank you, sir. Sir,
But last question એવું કહેવું પડે.
last question. We can take one more question.
સર તમે વર્ક બતાવ્યું હાઉસીસ કેરેલા બહુ સરસ હતું પણ કેરેલામાં એના ક્લાઇમેટ પ્રમાણનું જે આ હાઉસીસ હતા પણ હું જ્યારે ગયેલો કે પણ હવે એક રીતનું આપણે જોઈએ તો આ હાઉસથી આપણને ખબર પડે કે આ રીજનનું હાઉસ છે પણ અત્યારે તો આમ કોન્ક્રીટનું જ દેખાય એમ તમે કેરેલા જાઓ કે મુંબઈ જાઓ કે રાજકોટમાં આવો એ સરખું જ લાગે કે એમ ખબર નથી પડતી કે આના ઉપરથી આપણે કરી શકતા કે ના આ એન્વાયરમેન્ટ પ્રમાણે બનાવેલું છે પણ આપણે ત્યાં જઈએ છીએ તો એમ સિટીમાં જાઓ તો તમે કંઈ ડિફરન્શિએટ નથી કરી શકતા બેઝિક આમ આ છે પહેલા આર્કિટેક્ચર હતું ને જે અત્યારે આપણે જે કેમ્પસમાં જેવી રીતનું સ્ટડી કરીએ છીએ આપણે સ્ટુડિયોઝમાં કેવી રીતનું કે આવું કરવું જોઈએ આવા હાઉસીસ બનાવે છે પણ પહેલા આવા બનતા હતા આવું નહોતું તોય છતાં પણ હવે અત્યારે આટલું બધું શીખી તો આવું વધી જાય છે અમુકને ઓલા બધું આવું તો કંઈ દેખાતું જ નથી આપણે મેઇન સિટીઝમાં કેમ જાય કે આ ટાઈપના આપણે જોવા જવા પડે એમ કે આવું તો કોઈ નવું બનાવતા એટલે મેઇન ક્વેશ્ચન ઇઝ ધેટ વેર આર્કિટેક્ચર ઇઝ ગોઈંગ નાઉ ઇન વિચ ડિરેક્શન ઇટ ઇઝ ગોઈંગ નાઉ એઝ પર યુ કે પહેલા કેવું હતું અત્યારે કેવું છે ને હવે ક્યાં જશે અને આનું શું છે એમ કે આર્કિટેક્ચરનું આમ તમે આમ વિઝ્યુઅલ કે આર્કિટેક્ચર વર્લ્ડ આમ કઈ રીતનું આમ કરી શકે એ ટાઈપનું આમ કેવું છે એઝ પર યુ વ્યૂ
એવું છે કે એક કોઈ સરસ ગીત છે હર સવાલ કા જવાબ એક સવાલ મેં એવું કર્યું ભાઈ એમનો જવાબ જ સવાલની અંદર હવે હું શું કહું બહુ તાતી વાત છે બહુ ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ વાત છે એક દડો આમ નાખો પછી એને અહીંયા ઊભો એમ ન કે ઊભો રહે દડા એ તો દડવાનો છે એવું થાય છે અને સ્લો હશે તો તમે ભૂલી જ જાઓ એવી એક વાત માણસની દુનિયા સાથે થયેલી છે આપણે આ દડાની જગ્યાએ ઘરો જતા હોય એ ઉભો રહે સસ્ટેનેબિલિટી એ ઊભું નથી રહેવાનું અત્યારે એક એવું ચાલી રહ્યું છે કે જેને લીધે મટીરિયલ્સ એટલા બધા મળતા થઈ ગયા કે આપણે કન્ફ્યુઝ થઈ ગઈએ શું વાપરવું. બાથરૂમના નળ ખાલી એક્ઝામ્પલ તરીકે લો. ઘણી વખત આપણા બાથરૂમમાં કોઈ જાય નવું આપણું ગેસ લાવે એને કહેવું પડે કે આને આ નળને આમ ઊંચકવાનો છે, આમ ફેરવવાનો છે, પેલો થોડી જ બહાર આવે. એટલે એક તો ટેકનોલોજી, materials and paraphernalia, all of them have changed so much કે આપણે ગામડીએ દેખીએ, આપણે કહીએ કે પેલું ને સાદી ચકલી એમની વાત નથી વાપરવા. અને મારે એવું થયું છે, અમારા ટોયલેટનો ફ્લશ અમે 25 વાર કરાવ્યો, 25 વાર માણસને બોલાવ્યો. મેં કહું આને શું કામ સાહેબ ક્ષારવાળું? મેં કહું આ માણસને ખબર નહોતી કે ક્ષારવાળા ન ચાલે. આ જેણે બનાવ્યું અને ખબર નહોતી, લખવું જોઈએ બધું છે. પણ 25 વખત મેં એ મારા, અને એક ટોયલેટ નહીં સાહેબ, બે ઘરમાં થઈ કરવું શું. અને મારે જોઈએ વધારે સારી વસ્તુ જોઈએ, ટોયલેટની સીટ વધારે સારી જોઈએ. આમાં તો પાણી આવવું જોઈએ, પાણી બંધ થવું જોઈએ. પાણી બંધ જ નથી થતું, શું કરશું? પાણી આવતું જ નથી, શું કરશું? એટલે ધ હોલ આઈડિયા ઓફ ટાઈમ, changing time and a building depends on function, climate. Climate is something constant, very constant. Materials have changed, paraphernalia has changed. આ ક્લાઇમેટની અંદર આવા ફેમિલી માટે આટલા રૂપિયામાં આ ઘર બનાવવાનું હોય તો આમાંથી શું શું લઈશું? એને હું મોંઘો નળ આપીશ કે લાકડાની બધી વિન્ડો આપીશ? This will decide your things. There is economics of the building and there are circumstances of the building.
પણ અત્યારે એવું થઈ ગયું છે કે વિન્ડો છે તો એ સ્પેશિયલી મુકાય છે કેના માટે? હવાને અવર જવર માટે. પણ અત્યારે વપરાતી નથી. હવા બંધ જો એસી જ કરવાનું છે. તમારે તડકો આવે છે તો કે હવા ઈ તો થોડી ન હોય, તો એસી જ છે ને, એના માટે જ છે. એટલે એવું આમ થઈ ગયું છે કે બધા આસ્પેક્ટ ઈ વાપરે છે પણ હજી એનો કઈ યુઝ નથી એમ.
તો આપણે એને ધીરેને કહેવાનું કે ભાઈ તારે આ રૂમની અંદર તું બેસીને નેચરલ હવા ખાવાનો છે કે પછી એસી જ મુકાઈ દેવાનું, એવું પૂછી લેવું. અને આપણે આર્કિટેક્ટ તરીકે એવી રિસ્પોન્સિબિલિટી ખરી કે ભાઈ તારા ઘરમાં અમુક નેચરલ જગ્યાઓ રાખજે, બધું એસી ન કરી નાખ, કારણ કે છેવટે ટૂંકા આપવા પડશે તારે. અને એસી બગડ્યું હશે તે દિવસ તું ક્યાં જઈશ? એવા ઘણા સવાલો હોય છે, એ સમજાવવા જોઈએ. અને ઘરને ક્લાઇમેટને અનુરૂપ બનાવવું જોઈએ. પણ તારો બેડરૂમ છે ને એમાં એસી રાખજે ભાઈ, કારણ કે આ અમદાવાદની 46 ડિગ્રીમાં તું, તારી કાયા છે ને બહુ નબળી છે, એટલે તારા બેડરૂમમાં રાખજે. અને તારે ઘેર આવનાર બધા મહેમાનો બી નબળા રહેશે એટલે એમનામાં બી એસી રાખજે. પણ એક કામ કર ને, અહીંયા મને એક કોટિયાડ મૂકવા છે, જો તારા ઘરની અંદર હવાની ફેરફાર થશે, આવું કંઈક કરી શકાય. અને એ વખતે એવું કરવાની જરૂર નથી કે આ કોટિયા ટ્રેડિશનલ એલિમેન્ટ છે ને એ અહીંયા મૂકવાનું, એવું ના બોલતા. આ હવાને આવવા માટે એક સરસ સાધન છે એ આપણે અહીંયા મૂકીએ તો કેવું? શું કહેશે પહેલું ખબર છે? ઉપર જાળી રોકી દેજો, કારણ કે માણસ ગભરાયેલો છે. કેરાલાની અંદર અત્યારે દુબઈનો પૈસો આવી ગયો અને લાલ પીળા ને ઝેરી લીલા એવા બિલ્ડિંગ બની રહ્યા છે. આમ પેડિમેન્ટ આવે, આમ ત્રિકોણનો આમ કરે, પછી આમ હાઈ ક્લાસ દોરી કોલમ આવે, આ કેરળ. અને એ દોરી કોલમ અરે એનો ટ્રાયંગલ અને દોરી કોલમમાં હજુ એને સંતોષ નથી થતો, એટલે ઉપર લાલ ને નીચે લીલા, એમ એને રંગે પણ છે. હવે એ આપણા સમાજ, આર્કિટેક્ચર સમાજની એક આ વાત છે. આપણી વાત કઈ રીતે મૂકવી એ આપણને ખબર નથી, કારણ કે એન્જિનિયર આપણી ઉપર ચડી બેઠેલો. આજે ચાર રસ્તા ઉપર આપણને એક એન્જિનિયર સાથે મૂકે ને આપણી લીલામ કરાવે તો આપણા 8 આના આવે ને પેલાના 10 રૂપિયા આવે. પરિસ્થિતિ એ છે. એટલે આપણે ઇન્સિસ્ટ કરવું જ પડશે કે સસ્ટેનેબિલિટી કંઈ વાત નથી, કંઈ દડો રગડાવવાની વાત નથી. આપણે સસ્ટેનેબલ બનવું જ પડશે. એને માટે બધા રૂમ એસી કરવા એ એડવાઇઝેબલ નથી. આ વાત સિરીઝ હતી. આમ શ્યોર આ બધી ડાઈ વાતો છે, પણ એમાંથી કંઈક નીકળે એવું છે, એવું હું માનું છું. કોઈને આમાં પાછળ બેઠેલા મહાનુભાવો અને મહાસ્ત્રીઓ એમને જે કંઈ કહેવું હોય એ કહેવાની છૂટ છે. કારણ કે આ બધા ભણાવે છે, મને ખબર છે. તમે એમને જ પકડો.
હલો હલો
હવે પાસ ઓન કરે છે.
હલો હલો યા
Thank you, sir. Thank you, all the students, for your questions.
સોરી.
We would now move towards the most important part of the event, is the book launch of the recent book on teaching basics design in architecture by Miki sir. I would invite Kishore sir and Madhvi ma'am with Miki sir to come and launch the book.
यहाँ जाके अगर जा Thank you.
હમણાં જે સવાલ પૂછ્યો એ લખી રાખજો. એની વાત કરો. કારણ કે એક વખત એક દિવસ મારે હું આવીશ અને આપણે એક સેમિનાર કરીશું. બહારનું કોઈ જ નહીં, બેન આવશે ને હું આવીશ અને કોઈ તો કરો. હું કોઈ પૂછતો નથી. આપણે કરીશું. આપણે મને સાહેબે કહ્યું, મેં કહ્યું આપણે આ કરીશું એવું. કારણ કે એ સવાલનો જવાબ સારી રીતે મળે એ જરૂરી છે આપણને બધા.
I would now invite Devang sir to come for the vote of thanks.
આ પેલું જે મેં કહ્યું કે આ દળનું સાહેબને આ કરવું છે એવું મને પડતી નથી. અને શું શું દુખે છે ને ક્યાં ક્યાં થાય?
જે ફરવા આડે છે
આમાં તને ખબર નથી મેં 4 વર્ષથી સિગરેટ છોડી See, whatever I'm seeing in this school as first year training and the kind of things that are happening are fairly at a happy end. And it is constructive as well as if you do more on your own, there is a good direction there. The enthusiasm of first year, where does it go in 5th semester? One doesn't know. So with the same enthusiasm, if you really attack 5th and 6th semester and 7th semester, something nice would happen. Where would those models, where are they going in 3rd year? So it's all there, but it's not there. તમારો બધાનો ખૂબ ખૂબ આભાર.
થેન્ક યુ સર
તમારી લાગણી
Hello. Okay, so on behalf of IPSA, I thank Miki sir and Madhvi madam for coming and sharing us about, I mean, it was a long due kind of thing, sharing us the ideas that they have done in terms of documentation, showing us this presentation on Kerala, and of course, the very important book, which is on basics of design, because he has been teaching this basic design for a very long time. It's a very long span that we can talk. I mean, when we were students, at that point of we used to, hear that there is a person called Miki, they say, teaching basics of design along with Walter and kind of thing. So, I am very happy that this book is now going to be in library, but those who also wants to buy the book, it is available kind of thing. And it's a very important in terms of having that in terms of our own personal collection. ક્યારેક આ જોઈએ ને તો મજા આવે. અમને પણ એવું થાય કે if we go back to our basic design kind of exercises અને બુક હોય તો ત્યારે થોડીક વાર એવું થાય કે જરાક ઓફિસનું બધું કામ છોડીને just start doing something out of it. It just opens up your mind kind of thing. સો આ એક બહુ ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ ચોપડી છે, એટલે એ પણ લાઇબ્રેરીના પર્સનલ કલેક્શન રાખવું બહુ ખૂબ જરૂરી છે અને ઘણી બધી દિશાઓ ખોલી શકે છે અત્યારના વિચારોમાં પણ. અને બીજું છે બેસિક્સ ઓફ ડિઝાઇન. મારા માટે બહુ ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ છે કારણ કે ઇટ્સ અબાઉટ ડિઝાઇન લર્નિંગ. ઇટ્સ નોટ અબાઉટ આર્કિટેક્ચર, ઇટ્સ અબાઉટ ડિઝાઇન લર્નિંગ. સો એ ખૂબ જરૂરી છે because this is where we find that design learning in most of the offices. When people start practicing, ઘણીવાર you miss out. And more you become strong in your own grammar, more you become strong in your own conceptual ideas, more the design better we can, better it is manifested kind of. મને ઘણીવાર એવું થાય કે આ સબ્જેક્ટ એટલો બધો ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ છે કે અત્યારે આપણને ન ખ્યાલ આવે, પણ પછી જ્યારે when we start looking at this from 10-15 years, I think it is one of the most.
બે વસ્તુ, આ ઝાડ છે ને, આ સફેદ પટ્ટો છે ને, એવડા હતા ત્યારે હું અહીંયા આવેલો હતો પહેલી વાર. આ સફેદ પટ્ટો છે અને હવે આને આમ જોતા બહુ આનંદ થાય. બીજું કે આ જે વાત કરી ને, હમણાં અમે એક અમારા નાના સર્કલમાં આ બુક વિશે એક પ્રેઝન્ટેશન મેં આપેલું. તો એ બધા જ મારા સ્ટુડન્ટ્સ હતા, લગભગ બધાએ બેસિક ડિઝાઇન કરેલું હતું. તો એક છોકરી આવી અને એણે કહ્યું, શી હેઝ નાવ વર્ક ફોર એટલીસ્ટ 10-15 years and she is doing better buildings than I would have done. She has done better buildings than I would have done. So she says, સર એક બેસિક ડિઝાઇનની વર્કશોપ તો આપો જ અમને. એટલે હું વિચારું છું ખરેખર અનાઉન્સ કરીશ, અને ફોર ધેટ ગ્રુપ આઈ એમ ગોઈંગ ટુ ગીવ વન વર્કશોપ વિચ ઇઝ people who have practiced for now 10-15 years and see what happens. The same kind of argument.
So thank you both of them. And students, those who are here, when we began this school 2000, there has been long association with Madhvi madam, because both of them, in fact, both of them, the research method that right now Riddhi madam is teaching, she was one who initiated this course, and also she was also thesis coordinator at that point of time. So our association with both of them has been a very long kind of thing, and have been very kind that every time we have actually asked, both of them have come to the school. They have been part of the Viva juries and kind of thing. They have been guiding students. Some students have done internship and under both of them kind of thing. So I think this relation will continue in future, and probably when he is coming here and he is seeing the possibilities, I think we'll be happy that if we can conduct such kind of workshops in the school. Even if we request Madhvi madam, because she has been taking a lot of research methods and kind of thing, if we can again redo that kind of thing, we'll be very happy. So thank you very much, sir, both of you, for coming to Rajkot, and definitely we'll be in touch for whatever that we have questions in mind kind of thing.
Thank you.
તમારા બધાના ક્વેશ્ચન્સ હશે તો પણ ગમશે, પણ આ જે પ્રશ્ન છે જેના ઉપર આપણે એક નાનો સેમિનાર કરી શકીએ, એ પ્રશ્ન મારે જોઈએ, તો તમે બેનને આપી દેજો આ બધા તમારા પ્રશ્નો. Next semester. Next semester. Yes.